This is Edna Adan Ismail. In 1998, after a brutal civil war, she decided to build a hospital in Hargeisa, the capital of Somaliland, a breakaway republic in the northwest of Somalia. The region had some of the worst infant mortality rates in the world. Edna wanted to change that. She asked for land in the heart of the city. The government offered her a trash heap that had been the scene for executions during the war. Edna said yes.
So, welcome to our once killing ground, once garbage dump, now a hospital and also my home.
The hospital has helped reduce the nation's infant mortality rate by 75%. On our tour, Edna introduced us to the newest citizen of Somaliland.
This is our youngest baby.
Just a few hours. Just a few hours.
Born now.
Just born now.
MashaAllah, Alif Mabruk.
Did they just name it right now?
Yes, she had a name for it. And they said, yeah, we'll call her Edna.
A happy moment, but it has not always been this way. During the 1980s, Hargeisa was ground zero in a war for independence, which killed some 500,000 Somalilanders.
Systematic destruction. Homes, hospitals, schools, mosques, everything.
Completely razed it to the ground.
You know, I've been working in hospitals since I was 17 years old. I've seen all kinds of things. I've seen, war wounded and casualties and what have you. I have never seen that many human carcasses. Some of them with handcuffs. That was the most disgusting thing I had ever seen in my life. And I thought, well, you cannot turn away from a country that has been destroyed that much.
The memories of war remain in bullet-scarred buildings, in graphic memorials to the fallen, and in a down-MiG jet displayed like a trophy. But this is what Hargeisa looks like today. There is food in the markets, money is traded without fear of robbery, and children play in streets where war once ruled. Now, the biggest challenge facing the city, and Edna, is the poor, chaotic infrastructure.
We aim to provide modern medicine with the limited resources that we have. Very often we don't have the equipment that we need. It took us a long time to find oxygen. We don't have oxygen, we've got to make our own, so we have oxygen concentrators. But in order to have that to work, you need electricity, and electricity needs fuel. So it's all doing things the best way we can. But what is my biggest need today? Water. If I had a well, if we had water, that for us would be more valuable than an MR machine, because water is just so basic, and you turn on a tap, you expect water to come out of it.
To give an idea of what Edna is talking about, this is how water is transported, and this is the river in Hargeisa. Edna concedes that the hospital cannot reach everyone in Somaliland. This is most true in the barren countryside, where the roads are lined with shanties, and ignorance and fear are the biggest killers.
The evil spirit that's holding on to this baby, let's do some purification, spiritual purification. All of these traditional practices, they're not going to have any effect to get this baby out. And then they fear that when they bring this patient here, they look at this big white hospital and they think, oh, I don't have the money, I cannot afford to take her there. They don't know that we treat patients like that free of charge. Because, what are you going to charge a woman like that? She's paid always with her life. That's the kind of woman I built this hospital for. Any woman who says, oh, I need a private room, she can get a flight and go somewhere else.
In an effort to spread medical care in Somaliland, Edna founded a program to teach a new generation of nurses.
Anatomy, physiology of which part? My big toe, muscles, system. And nervous system. These are the kind of clothes I want to leave behind. Young, educated woman, Somaliland, who can stand her ground and who can be responsible for the lives of the patients.
We have 4 patients here. All of them, they are well, breastfeeding, and the babies no problems at all. And good skin babies we have tonight, this morning. They stay at the hospital for 2 days.
Sometimes we don't have time and space, so we keep them for just 24 hours. But then before we let them go, we vaccinate every child.
Although she founded a maternity hospital, Edna has begun to focus on HIV/AIDS, which has stalked the Somaliland population.
There's an increasing number of patients with HIV/AIDS everywhere in the world, and Somaliland is no exception. And we're seeing an increasing number of HIV-positive patients. We are This is a small arsenal to fight that big disease, that big battle against HIV/AIDS, which unfortunately is gaining ground on us. We're losing that battle through ignorance, through complacency, through denial, through lack of knowledge and lack of resources to deal with it.
For the last few years, Edna's life has been dedicated to healing the women of Somaliland. Now, as she looks ahead, Edna hopes to leave the future in their hands.
I'd like to leave it for the next generation to learn from my mistakes, how I have managed to do things against many, many odds. It's not easy for a woman to do this kind of a work, but then it's got to be done.